Joining us now on the dais from Maryland, head coach Brenda Frese, student athletes Lauren Mincy, Brene Mosley, and Lexi Brown. We'll open with a statement from Coach Frese, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes.
You know, I'm proud of our fight, and you know, like I told the team in the locker room, when you look at a season and go 34-3, and you look at two of our three losses are coming from teams that are playing for the national championship game. That's a heck of a season, and you know, obviously the score doesn't indicate in terms of the fight, and we've got to be able to do a better job of closing the gap. But I thought, you know, we did a tremendous job in the first half, trying to put some things together, especially in the diversity of some of the calls that were made. We just kept fighting and we kept battling. And, you know, I thought the runs in the second half obviously hurt us and were really tough. But couldn't be more proud, obviously, of Lauren Mincy and the legacy that she's left, you know, for her to give everything to this young team. And I know this experience and continuing to play UConn and playing Notre Dame will continue to make us better.
Questions for the student athletes, please. We'll start right back there.
Oh, actually, it was for Brenda. Questions for Brenda.
No, we're taking student athlete questions first, but I'll give you that when we go to her. Jean, right here in the front.
Gene Wong, Washington Post. Lexi, in the past, when other teams have gotten runs on you, been able to come back, what was kind of the difference today, not be able to respond in the second half?
I'm not really sure. I just think we continue to get deflated as they went on their runs. And the thing about UConn is it's not one person contributing to that run. You know, it's the entire team. So, you know, we would try to key on one person, and then somebody else would score, but then we would try to key on that person. The next person would score. They do a great job of sharing the ball.
Question right here.
Dan Connolly, the Baltimore Sun. This is for Lauren. What are your emotions right now, and how difficult going out the way you did this game?
Just really disappointed. Obviously, we wanted to come in here and, you know, shock the world and get this win. But I'm proud of how my team competed all game in this season, and I can't wait to see what is ahead for them.
Question over on the side.
John Zuper, New York Times.
Can you give him the other mic?
John Zuper, New York Times. Lexi, Coach was talking about Lauren's legacy. To you, what is that legacy? What does that mean?
You know, I just see her as a player who's extremely resilient and a great leader. You know, she had a lot of adversity during her career here. And, you know, a lot of people could have, you know, rolled over and just been like, you know what, my knees, you know, I'm not going to be the player I used to be. But, you know, Mincy, you know, she worked extremely hard to get back, you know, this season, to see her, you know, back to who she was, you know, before her knee injuries, and to see how hard she worked and pushed us every day. I think that's the legacy she's going to leave with us.
Right here, Jean.
Look back on your career, what are you going to remember most? What are you going to be most proud of?
Just the family that I made here. These are my little sisters, and, you know, whenever they need anything, they can call me. So just a family atmosphere, all the support from the coaches I've had over the years.
Question on the left side here.
Todd Carton, Testudo Times. Brene, late in the second half, you guys started driving the lane and drawing some fouls, but in the early part of the game, you seemed a little hesitant to attack Connecticut that way. What was going on that was different late in the game, or was it just your mindset?
I think our mindset just changed. I think we just wanted to be able to attack, and whatever they were giving us, I mean, they were playing a three-point line pretty well, so we wanted to be able to get inside. Bree was doing pretty well, so we wanted to go inside, so that's basically what our mindset just changed towards that.
Time for one last one here, Jean.
Brenda, you played with Lauren longer than anyone. Just what has she meant to you, and what has she meant to the program?
I'm speechless when I talked about Lauren. Just everything she's contributed along the years. I mean, when she first tore ACL, I was right beside her, and that was, you know, we created a bond then. So it was, you know, tonight was tough just because, you know, it's her last game with her. So it's kind of, it hurts my heart, but I know she's going to go on to bigger and better things, and we're going to continue to keep doing what we do here at Maryland.
Thank you, ladies. They will be available in the locker room until 11:32, and we'll continue with questions for Coach Frese. And we'll start right in the back there.
Brenda, Rich Dubrow from Comcast. At what point did you know that it didn't look good for you tonight? What led you to think that?
Maybe after the first 2 foul calls on Brianna Jones. No, I mean, seriously, I thought it was the second half. I mean, they came out and, their aggressiveness defensively, they were really physical. Obviously, they really clamped us down from the field. And, we were having a difficult time being able to score.
Question right here.
Hey, Brenda, Doug Farmer, the AP. Nice season for you guys.
Thanks.
Lexi talked a little bit about how tough it was because you shut one person down, someone else steps up. I mean, Morgan Tuck is obviously a very good player, but you were doing a good job on KML, and then she steps up or Stewie steps up. How tough are they to play against defensively because they have so many weapons that you can't just shut one down?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Tuck was a big-time X factor for them tonight, and I mean, you look at the stat line of Kalina, and she hits 1 3, but she gives 7 assists and goes into a facilitator, and they get everybody else going. So it is. I mean, obviously, you've got to be able to have 5 that can match them on both ends of the floor, both defensively as well as offensively.
Question right here.
Rick Wilson, Litchfield County Times. I just wanted to get back to Morgan. It's tough enough to prepare for UConn. Did Morgan give them something that you might not have expected tonight? How do you prepare for her?
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking she was one of their 3s that wasn't an All-American, right? And had an All-American night. I mean, it is. I mean, obviously, we planned, obviously in terms of their ability to be able to score. But she's such a difficult matchup. I mean, she took us inside. She took us out. She was able to score at will. She recognized when Bree was in foul trouble. She drove her, showed a really high IQ.
Question over there to the right.
Hey, Brenda. Congratulations on everything. You had said yesterday that you thought it would be really good for the game for you guys to beat them. I guess I'm wondering why that is and whether you think it's bad for the game if this is the same title game from last year.
I mean, obviously, to be able to grow our game, we have to start having parity. And honestly, you look at the men's side, and you can't predict from year in and year out. And I think that brings a level of excitement. It brings a level of enthusiasm. We're getting there. When I look at players out there that are kind of starting to go to a lot of programs, just like our kids have. Asia Wilson going to South Carolina. We're starting to have that kind of depth in our talent pool, and I think when you look at our game in the NCAA tournament, you look at Dayton getting as far as they did. You're starting to kind of see some parity that our game desperately needs.
Question here, Gene.
Yeah, Brenda, when you reflect on Lauren's career, what has she meant to you, and what has she meant to the program?
Gosh, I couldn't be more proud of Lauren. When you talk about to watch her this season grow into what she became for us, a leader by example, a leader vocally, but you look at the fact that she's a fighter. I mean, I thought all the adversity that she went through in her 5 years to be able to lead this team to new heights, to a season that nobody expected, is something that I'm going to cherish forever in terms of her legacy.
Question over here.
Dan Conley, Baltimore Sun. Brenda, was it difficult to see her finish her career that way today? And, she didn't play a lot in the second half. Was it a difficult decision for you not to play her much in the second half?
Yeah, it was a tough night. I think she was very anxious. I thought nerves got the best of her. When you look at 6 turnovers by Lauren Mincy, that's not a stat line that you see this season. So it was tough. I mean, because I could feel where she was in the game, and it was hurting the team, but she's carried the team throughout this entire season. So a tough night for her, but at the same time, the growth for our team is we have to be able to continue to be able to carry on without her now as she graduates.
Question in the back there.
Ryan Blaser, I'm with the Diamondback. 2 straight Final Fours, but haven't quite been able to reach that national championship. What do you need to do to take that next step and get back there?
Yeah, I mean, that's the next, progression. It's where obviously Notre Dame's gotten themselves to, and it's the next step for us. Obviously the consistency factor for us was key in terms of being able to get back-to-back, but there's that one more percent in terms of where we need to go. But, I'm really excited when you talk about our future and graduating, one senior to be able to have this sophomore class come back. I'm really, really excited about this future.
We have time for 2 more questions. We'll go here and then here.
Coach, you guys, Maryland had one of the best seasons in school history, yet UConn wins pretty handily. Does Notre Dame stand a chance in the championship game? And if so, what do they have to do in order to win?
I'm trying to remember that first game with Notre Dame, if Turner played. So, obviously I think that's a different element. But I think when you talk about the national championship game, both teams are going to be ready to compete, and 2 phenomenal coaches that are going to be ready to play. I think it'll be a really competitive game.
Final question here, and then Brenda will be available in the locker room.
Coach Lee Michelson from FullCourt.com. It's one thing when you're looking at parity that you guys are 1 seed for a reason. But UConn consistently beats the best teams in the country by substantial double-digit margins. What is it about them that makes them like that? Just more good players than anybody else gets, or what?
I think it's a blend of everything. Obviously, Gino's the best of the best. He's a phenomenal coach. I think as you talk about our talent pool, I liken it to Kentucky men, except for the fact that, UConn's able to get every year a top 10 player. They don't lose them to the pros. So when you're able to build that kind of roster and then add the coaching and with what you're doing and insert that into your lineup every year, it's huge when you're able to build a roster like that. So, our game is coming. There isn't that depth of the talent pool yet to be able to kind of spread that amongst the different programs, but it's definitely coming.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.